Do you like Yakuza? Do you like Mega Man? Do you like Gears of War? Do you like the threat of humanity being wiped out by climate change? Well, what if I told you that the Yakuza developers back in 2012 released a third-person shooter that covers all of those topics? It has a story that's so wacky it doubles back into being realistic, and a political message that is so on the nose that it's borderline force-fed into your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of Binary Domain. In the not-so-distant future, over 60% of humanity has been wiped out by superstorms and extreme flooding caused by climate change, something that definitely cannot happen in real life because the rich white people told me it couldn't. Now, because of this, rich people started developing robots in order to replace the workforce, because 60% of the population of the Earth has been wiped out. The leaders in this robotics development ended up becoming the United States and Japan, but this is because Dr. Light in the United States ended up stealing a bunch of designs from Dr. Wily in Japan, leading the United States to own over 95% of robotics production in the world. Because of this, the Japanese government, along with Dr. Wily, ended up suing the United States, but they lost because the United States literally owns everything at this point. So because of this, Dr. Wily went into hiding and Japan sealed itself away from the rest of the world. Again. However, even though Dr. Wily isn't hiding, he's actually still plotting the whole time because he started designing robots that lived in organic skins and could grow up. In these robots, he's planting fake memories where he will eventually, either on their own volition or by sending a message into their brain, I guess, tell them that they're actually robots and their entire lives are lies. Because of this, they go maverick, crash out, and start committing terrorist attacks. This is now happening across the entire world, and one of these fake-ass robot humans turned out to be the President of the United States. I'm not making this up. This is the plot of the game. Because there's basically a bunch of Blade Runner synths running around committing terrorist attacks now due to Dr. Wily, there now has to be a multi-country military operation to secretly invade Japan and kidnap Dr. Wily to hopefully stop him from releasing more ISIS synths into the world, and maybe, just maybe, figure out what he's actually planning. Without spoiling, what he's planning is even more ridiculous than what I just said in the last 45 seconds. You play as Dan Freedom, the most all-American boy to Star Spangle a fucking banner. He likes to fight, he likes guns, he likes freedom, he likes baseball, he likes fetishizing Asian women.
That's my welcome? Your ugly ass? Where's all my dancing geisha girls?
Just an all-American, purebred white soul. And he teams up with his best friend, Bo. He's tall, he's black, he's loud, he's black, he's bald, he's black. But don't worry, these aren't the only two on our stereotype crew. After getting through a pretty annoying intro section, you link up with 3 more stereotypes, baby. We got 2 British ones, Captain Payless, who's clearly not just Troy Baker doing a shitty British accent, and also Rachel. Her name is Rachel. She has a shotgun. I guess like most British women, she's not very interesting. Then we got one final stereotype in our stereotype crew who not only covers the stereotype of Asian,
Ni hao,
but also the stereotype of hot, I guess. Her name is Faye. She's Chinese, and the minute she shows up on screen, Bo and Dan compare her to a porn star they saw once.
reminds me of an actress or someone. Come on, Bo, you know the only movies you watch are porn. Oh, yeah, right. With the...
Now, me and you and the stereotype crew have to go on a country-wide adventure to find Dr. Wily and stop him from doing his nefarious activities. Now, in terms of gameplay, I would have to say that Binary Domain is like a combination of Gears of War and Final Fantasy VII of all games. You have your basic jumping, shooting, vaulting, sprinting, you know, your basic cover third-person shooter activities. However, there's also a ton of RPG elements thrown in. You have the ability to level up all the weapons you get throughout the game at certain shops, which is really cool. You can just use your money to upgrade all your weapons as the game goes on. You also have the ability to upgrade yourself and your squad mates using nanomachines. These nanomachines can be found throughout the game or even bought from these shops, and they kind of work like the materia system from Final Fantasy VII. It's really strange that I forgot that this was even in here until I looked back at the footage. Like, what What is going on? Which leads to the final RPG mechanic in this game, the trust and consequence system. Now, if you go to the pause menu and you look at your party members that you have on specific missions, you'll notice that there's a blue meter next to all of them. This is your trust level. How much your party members trust you is how much they'll actually listen to you, be nice to you, do the things you want them to do. I think it affects their damage and how much willing they're protect and revive you and how quickly they can do it and all sorts of stuff like that. It's very intricate for a game from 2012. Now, the way that you build your trust with your teammates is not only based on how you talk to them in the game, but also the commands you give them during battle, and also how you perform during battle. And you might be going, wait a minute, you can talk to your teammates in the game? Yes. One of the main marketing things from this game was the speech effect system, which either this system is too old, my mic is too new, or both, because that shit never works. Through my entire time of trying to play this game, I tried, man. I tried to get this shit to work, and it just did not in the slightest. What is good is that you can still have a, a quick commands menu just in case you don't want to talk for some reason. It's like, why would you not want to use this perfect software that definitely knows what's going on? But like I said, you also got to be nice to them, which means that sometimes you can straight up just tell your party members you love them, and depending on the situation, they might receive it pretty well or pretty bad. You need to do a whole lot of stuff to build that trust meter, because it is kind of important if you want to have a decent time. Very cool, very interesting, very ambitious. Didn't really work. However, I have to applaud the try. Now, an enemy variety makes or breaks a game like this, and I have to say the enemy variety is pretty good. There's basic robots, there's robots that rush you down, there's robots that have heavy armor, light armor, there's robots with different weapons, snipers, there's commando bots, there's robots that after you kill them, they turn into nukes and try to grab onto you, and if they hit you or grab onto you while they're in that mode on higher difficulties, it's an instant kill. So I gotta say, the enemy variety was also pretty good throughout the game. The boss fights, while they looked cool, they were all kind of just ass. Like there's no other real way to describe it. They weren't particularly hard, and anytime I died was because they just nuked the screen. Those were kind of a low light of the game. However, the different arenas you go into, the different ways that the enemies surround you and keep you moving from cover to cover, I have to say is a really fun time. And if you're experimenting with different weapons, kind of makes each and every single encounter different. And also if you're experimenting with different party members that you take in, because you don't have all your party members on every mission. You tend to split up a lot, which tends to lead to, you might favor certain party members here or there, or you might be trying new strategies with them. They all have different weapons. Like I think Bo has a machine gun, Faye has a sniper rifle, Rachel has a shotgun. Harry Styles has a fucking I think a submachine gun. So you could tell them to do different things and do different commands and have different, places to go in the space, as good as a 2012 CPU can do. Get that trust meter up, make them more effective, make them better at healing you and at listening to you, and don't make them ignore you and say, fuck off, Dan, you suck, you stink, you're smelly. No problem. No problem. No problem.
Well, at least you're not short on confidence. We may need it. And I'm counting on you, Dan. The survivor nickname actually means something, right?
Hell yeah.
Good, so we should move. And we can't afford to engage that monster spider. Understood?
Roger.
What are you apologizing?
What? Yeah, I really did enjoy that part of the game. I have to say that they really did, a good job with the enemy variety and keeping all the fights fresh. which it can make or break one of these games, dude. I'm telling you. The sound effects in this game are also fairly good. I like the way all the guns sound for the most part. They all sound pretty weighty and bassy, along with the fact that the shooting in general is just really tight because it's just Gears of War, basically. I mean, they even pretty much use the exact arc that you use in Gears of War for throwing grenades. Like, it's a Gears of War clone, I can admit that. But yeah, this game's real fun. It's real wacky. It's weirdly deep. For some reason, deeper than I assumed a game like this would be. It's just a good time. It's just a quick fucking 8 to 12 hour romp. It has a good amount of replayability based on all the guns and different nanomachines you can use for both yourself and your team. Like, man, I love this fucking game, dude. It's just a good time. It's just a simple B+ ass game. You know, it's a B plus. Doesn't have to blow your socks off. Doesn't have to suck your dick, dude. It's like $10 on Steam. I highly recommend it. This is one of my favorite hidden gems. It only sold like 20,000 copies. Man, this game's good. And it has a really, really, really surprising ending, which I'm going to avoid, but just know this game was pulling some stuff before Nier Automata. I'll just say that. Just say this is the Binary Domain might have been the Nier Automata of the 2012s. That's just my opinion. So yeah, Binary Domain. It's a good game. It's great. Thank you to all the people who have been supporting me on Coffee. This video is incredibly rushed. I will figure out a proper schedule eventually. But goddamn, dude, I'm. Can you talk? Can you talk? Can you talk? T1. Goddamn. Can you talk? Can you talk? Please. We're knocking out the kinks, man. You know, I'm a one-man band. I'm still doing med school stuff, still looking for job stuff. I don't know how to edit like at all. Still don't really know how to script, still don't really know how to record, still don't really know how to do anything. So, you know what I'm saying? The fact that people have actually given me money on Coffee is a little bit ridiculous, and that's why their names have been up the entire time, because like, what are you doing? But yeah, well, we're still here. We still out here. Haven't missed a Friday yet. We're still 290 days left, I think. So we're gonna figure it out. This is gonna look real cool at the heartfelt compilation at the end of Half His Asses, buddy. You gotta be a part of the journey to see that shit. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next Friday. Haven't missed one yet, baby. Y'all will never be given control. Never.